science has already shown that the body speaks. But when it comes to women, the body whispers. And those who don't learn to hear those whispers get lost in messages hidden in the touch. Intentional confusion and subtle manipulation that cloud emotional clarity. In this video, we're going to decode the gestures most men overlook, but that reveal everything. You might think it's just a touch, a casual gesture. But a woman's true intent when she touches your arm goes far beyond what the eyes can see. What seems an assent may actually be a silent invitation, an emotional trigger, a revenant test of masculinity that few men are mature enough to recognize. And the most fascinating part, while you think you're in control, she may be guiding the entire power game with just a soft glide of her fingers on your skin. Stick around until the end. If you leave early, you risk continuing to live in the dark, unaware of what's happening while being tested, evaluated, and discarded. The difference between an average man and a man of presence. Listen how he responds to these signals. And if at any moment this content makes you think, how did I never notice this before? Take that as a cue. Toastranthon, you're learning. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And drop a comment below. Your engagement makes a difference for you and for every man walking this same path. Now it's time to dive into the first sign that changes everything. 0.1. When the touch comes before the words. Most men believe communication starts with words. But the most intuitive women speak with their bodies first. A sudden or subtle touch on the arm can mark the beginning of a silent conversation. One where much more than words is at stake. Right there lies a message hidden in the touch, filled with intention and expectation. It's like she wants to test the ground. Before taking the next step, she's measuring your reaction, gauging your firmness, checking your level of comfort. A man who misses that may overlook a clear, silent invitation or overact and break the moment. Decoding is finding the balance between perception and restraint. That touch might even carry a feminine sexual curiosity masked behind an innocent excuse. Like, wow, your arms are strong, or it's Killian here. Right behind that, morphed in the knot, lies a desire to test weight your body communicates. Strength, confidence, control, all without saying a word. And you know how to read it. Now, if that touch catches you off guard and you pull back, she'll notice too. Your masculine instinctive response says a lot. Whether you control your emotions or let them control you, a man who gets it holds eye contact, smiles with confidence, and keeps the conversation flowing without losing his center. That's emotional dominance. Sometimes it's just a seductive touch, a light test to see if there's a spark. It doesn't mean she wants something right now. Just wants to see if you get game. And this is the key point. Don't react like an excited boy, nor act like a frozen robot. Respond with presence, with energy, with maturity. The man who understands that a touch is never just a touch begins to see signals where he wants. Saw only ordinary gestures, and that changes everything because she noticed that you notice said what others don't. But what about when the touch comes at unexpected, even awkward times? 2. When the touch becomes a weapon of testing. Sometimes a touch on the arm isn't about affection or flirting. It's about observing. Smart women know that many men completely shift their behavior at the first signal of physical contact. She reaches out like it means nothing but is watching for everything. That's where the test of masculinity comes in. Subtle, light, but precise, that if you smile too much, get overly excited, stumble on your words, or rush to return the touch, she senses instability. The safety she was scanning for vanishes. What could have been enigmatic attraction, become disappointment. A high-value man isn't measured by words, but by how stable he remains under feminine intensity. This type of touch might happen in public, with friends, mid-can conversation. She touches you and then watches how you carry yourself. Do you lead or do you shrink? The power dynamics is in play even if you don't notice. And if you don't notice, she'll know you're a net ready to step into your role as Amon. Emotionally trained men don't react instantly. They absorb, read, interpret, and only then respond. That calm silence, that's where true emotional dominance lives. While the average man talks too much or tries to show off, the centered man observes. And when he speaks, it's few words but right on target. That it's not about playing games with her. It's about not playing against. Curcell, try this the next time a woman casualizes you. Don't rush to touch her back. Just meet her eyes naturally and continue the conversation with firmness. That one move breaks the cycle of subtle manipulation often launched through touch. And what if the touch isn't even about you? What if it's a booth environment, someone else, or even her own insecurities hiding behind a soft gesture? 3. When the touch hides desire, there comes a moment when a woman's touch is no longer just adist. It becomes warm, intentional, rhythmic. Her finger might glide gently, linger a second longer, or press into her skin just slightly. That's the awakening of desire, a silent signal that says, I'm feeling you. Are y'all feeling me too? It's like a secret coded between instinct and flesh. A woman might do it without saying a word, but their energy says everything. And here's what most men miss. That touch triggers Sabanzi's attraction that speaks directly to your biology. You feel it but don't understand. You react but can't explain. That's her power that if a man isn't emotionally ready, he'll misinterpret it. He might think it's love when it's just the start of sexual tension. Or he might ignore it and miss the deepest connection of the night. At that point, the touch becomes a provocative spark and you need the sensitivity not to overstep. Not every fire needs to be put out. Some women are masters of this art. They know how to release sexual energy without ever looking vulgar. And if you're maturino, you'll notice it and respond with calm, with depth, with magnetism. How? Lower your voice, hold her gaze, slow down your pace. Her body may be saying, come closer. But your self-control says, not yet. This kind-off exchange is driven by a prime emotional trigger, anticipation. The touch lights the fire, but the calm, grounded response is what truly seduces. A man of presence knows desire grows insolence. And he doesn't break that spell, trying to prove himself. He just stays still, powerful, calling without cling. Quick pause. This kind of canton is opening your eyes to things you've never noticed before. Hit that like button now and subscribe because this is just the beginning. Let's keep going. But what? About when the touch becomes casual, repeated, almost like a habit. Is it still desire or a distraction in disguise? 4. When the touch is a validation tool. Some women touch Amon's arm not because they're attracted to him, but because they want to see I finds them attractive. That's right, it's a subtle search for approval. The touch becomes a mirror. She wants to see how you see her without risking being vulnerable. That's pure hidden intention dressed in politeness. This behavior has a basis in science, according to Nonverbal. Communication, research, lightened casual touch is one of the most effective ways to spark interest without taking real risks. If she senses your rod's rhubarb but haven't shown interest in it, the touch becomes a silent test to provoke a response. A power game disguised as warmth. Watch closely. These women repeat the touch during neutral moments mid-con conversation, while saying goodbye or laughing at something silly. They touch and observe. If you respond, obviously, she knows she has power over you. If you act cold, she feels like she may be overstepping. That's why calibrating your masculine instinctive response is so key. Not too much, not too little. A mistake men make is assuming every touches sexual interest. Sometimes it's just intentional confusion, a way to play with your limits to test your emotional balance. Women who do this often aren't looking for connection there, sticking affirmation. They want to know if their charm still holds power. So how should you respond? The key is to hold your composure. Stay grounded in the conversation. You don't need to return the touch. You don't need to pull away there. Just stay firm, focused, present. What does that say? A shake and try what she wants, but you're not easily shaken. That's real emotional demands. And when she realizes shackled and throw you off balance, something shifts because now the power slips out of her hands and starts orbiting around your self-control. But what happens when the touch is timid, quick, almost as if she's unsure of herself? 5. When the touch reveals more about her than you sometimes. A touch on the arm isn't meant to test, seduce, or tease you. It's about her, about what she needs, about the emotional weight she's carrying. When a woman touches you with gentle frequency, as if seeking shelter in that gesture, she may be trying to regulate her own emotions. This is the most unconscious form of seductive touch and the most thinnest. It often happens in moments of stress or vulnerability or when she feels observed and wants to feel seen by you. The touch becomes a kind of emotional anchor, a quiet request for connection. She wants to feel safe. She wants to know if she can trust, and she communicates that through a simple gesture filled with subconscious distractory. Even if she doesn't realize it, this can show up during a serious conversation or when she's opening up emotionally. She touches you and watches. Will you stay present in this moment? It's not about sex. It's not about validation. It's about emotional glassness. She wants to see if you can handle her inner world without backing away. And that's a silent invitation to something deeper. Too many men mistaketh us for flirting and ruin it with jokes or immature behavior that kills the woman. The woman feels alone, even with Simone right beside her. It's a secret. Hold space. Stay there. Don't rush to fix anything. Sometimes she just wants to know you're still with her. That by itself is a form of seduction that touches her deeply. Notice. Also, quick, seemingly random touches, followy restrained smiles or diverted eyes. That's an emotional trigger set off by you. She feels something but doesn't want to say it, so she moves. If you understand that, you understand everything. You don't. You may lose women who are opening doors with their bodies. Now that you know a woman's touch on your arm can hold more meaning than 1,000 words, the question is, will you keep ignoring those signs? Or will you start to see the game for what teat really is? Reading a woman's silent language is what separates average men from conscious, magnetic ones. How many times have you missed out because you didn't notice what was right in front of you? How many women touched you and you reacted like nothing happened? Were you really in control or were you being led the entire time? If you've ever experienced this, drop a comment below. Now I see the touch. Type that phrase, toe. Mark your commitment to stepping out of emotional blindness and reclaiming control over your love life with clarity and maturity. Your story could be through cup. Call another man needs. Thank you so much for watching this far. Shows that you take your personal growth seriously, truly, that you're willing to grow as a man with more emotional intelligence, more presence, and more authenticity. I deeply appreciate your attention, your energy, and your dedication to becoming better. If this video helped you in any way, go ahead and like it. Share it with someone one needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss another insight that could change how you see and succeed with women.